Hello YouTube, this is my Bandit 90 and this is my Iguana enclosure. So, see, it's almost exactly the same as water dragon enclosure that's on the bottom. It's almost the same. Again, this is a large animal. They will get up to 6 foot. As you can see, he's 2 years old. He's pretty decent size. He's maybe 3-4 feet long right now. Pretty decent sized lizard. So he's getting on up there, and he's starting to get cramped in this enclosure right here. So we're building one right now. I mentioned it in my water dragon video. It's going to be 6 feet long, 6 feet tall, and 2 feet deep, which will be perfect for him. He'll be just fine in there. But okay, as far as it's about basically the same as my water dragon enclosure. Temperature wise, it stays around anywhere from 87 to 92 degrees. I've got a basking spot here that stays around 94 degrees right here on the hot side. This is the hot side and this is the cool side, and that stays around 89 or 90 right there in that basking spot right there. So UVA and UVB are really good to have for these. You need those. They will die without them. And water dragons too. Forgot to mention that in my last video. The water dragons, they need the UVB and UVA bulbs. You need to get them UVA and UVB. Okay, but they're really awesome animals. That's just another one of these animals. Please do some research before you buy one of these, because they are not something you can stick in a glass aquarium. So you can tell a 6 foot lizard, even him at his size right now, at 3 to 3.5, 4 foot long. You cannot house him in a glass tank. There's just not one big enough to house his needs. House him with his needs in that. So you need a pretty hefty sized tank. I like the wooden ones, helps me keep the humidity up. His humidity stays around 50%. I don't keep his humidity as high as the water dragons. He doesn't really need as high of humidity. I mean, the humidity is good for them. Like when they're in shed, humidity is good. Help them get their shed off easy and everything. But iguanas really don't need all. They're subtropical, or they're subtropical animals, so they do need the humidity, do need the moisture, but just it's not as extreme as like the water dragon or some other exotics you can get hold of. So I've got him in here, and he's got him a little water dish right there. They don't need as much water either. They're not that big of swimmers. They're just more of climbers. So he's got just as much climbing space as she does in the water dragon enclosure. It's basically the same setup. I have no live plants in here with him at the time, because all the live plants, like the ones I've gotten in here in the water dragon enclosure, they're not good for him to eat. He does not need to be eating them. So I don't do live plants because in the iguana enclosures, because they will try to eat them. These do not eat insects. I mean, insects are not in their diet. They eat vegetables, fruit, stuff like that. And now him, a lot of people pitch a fit about this, but he eats crickets. He likes crickets every once in a while. Maybe once every other week or once a week, whatever. I give him like 2 or 3 crickets. He loves them, eats them up. He likes them. So if he'll eat them, whatever, I'll give them to him. So it doesn't really matter. It's not going to hurt him to feed him crickets, but he likes them, and he's kind of growing out of it now, where he doesn't want them as much. So I don't force them on him. And when I'm feeding the other animals, he'll come up to the front. He'll sit there and claw on the front, and I'm like, okay, well, here, you want one? Just stuff like that. If he acts like he wants it, he'll come up to the front. I'll offer it to him. If he takes it, awesome. If not, doesn't really matter. He eats fruits and vegetables. Like right now, we got up here in this corner, if you can see, he's got strawberries up there right now. He loves strawberries. He loves kale. He loves mustard greens. They're really easy. I mean, these, as far as feeding wise, are a little easier to feed, just because you can run to any store really and just get some greens. And don't feed them lettuce, it's mainly water. They won't get any nutrition, just get nutritional type greens. Don't do broccoli and stuff like that. Just stay with the greens. Collard greens, mustard greens, stuff like turnip greens, stuff like that is a lot nutritionally better for them. And they're the same with the calcium ones. I do calcium with D3 Repticalcium. They're good for them. And like I said, he'll take an occasional superworm or cricket or whatever. A lot of people pitch a fit over that, but it's like, whatever. You do your thing, I'll do mine. This is what works for me and my animal. And as you can see, it obviously can't be too bad. He looks pretty healthy to me. But yeah, vines are fake. There's no live plants in his enclosure. He's got only fake plants because iguanas eat plants. So, not too good of an idea unless you do some research on what plants they can eat. Put plants in there. If you put plants in there, please put plants they can eat. Try to stick away from flowers and bright colors because it'll attract them and they will try to mess with them. The bright color. It's like this one back here. He will pick and rip leaves off of that all the time. That thing with those pink on it. So, but it's fake. It won't hurt him. He doesn't ever try to eat it. He just rips the leaves off and just messes with it all the time. The bright colors, for some reason, attract them and they just want to mess with it. For some reason. I don't understand that. But anyway, that doesn't really matter. Just stick away from it and you won't have to worry about it. But yeah, as far as the substrate, just dirt is all that is. It's peat moss mixed with organic soil. It's been sterilized before I put it in here. And it's the same substrate that I use in there, and that I use in the tokay tank, and I use in the tree frog tank. Use the same substrate in all of them. It's just easier. I just get some organic soil and organic peat moss, mix them together, whatever. Sterilize it, put them in here with them, and they're all set, ready to go. But yeah, they're really awesome animals to have. Once again, please do your research before you buy anything like this. Do not impulse buy this because it's a cute little lizard that's about that big at a pet shop. Because in about a year and a half to 2 years, it's going to look like this big butt right here. And it's not going to be good if you're not prepared for it. You need to have the means to care for these animals. That's why there's iguana rescues all over the place. It's one of the reasons I will never breed this guy, is because there's so many people that'll buy these out of impulse because they look so cute when they're little. People are like, oh, it's so cute, I want it. And they'll buy it, and then a year and a half later they got this 4-foot lizard on their hands. They're like, oh my god, I don't want this anymore, it's huge. So, just please do some research if you're going to buy an animal. Any animal. Doesn't matter what it is. If you do, just put in a couple hours worth of research. You don't even have to put a couple hours in. Just a little bit of research to find out what you're buying before you buy it. It will do you a lot of good. It'll help you out, make your animal a lot happier. It's just makes life a lot easier. It's like with the snake ban going on now. If people would just do some research about what they're doing, it's just a lot of stupidity and a lot of ignorance could be avoided if people just did some research and learned a little bit about what they're talking about. But yeah, he's a really awesome animal. I love him just as much as all my others. He's really awesome. We're training him to hand feed right now. He used to be really aggressive. That's another thing about iguanas. They tend to be slightly on the aggressive side. Not really aggressive as much as just temperamental. Cameras kind of irritate them a little bit, make them uncomfortable. Fast movements make them uncomfortable. It's just some things to look at when you're going to get them. And they don't like a lot of fast movement and all that. They tend to be a little temperamental at times, but he's a really awesome animal. I mean, I get him up on my shoulder every once in a while I'm feeding him. We're hand feeding him. He's really cool, but you make one fast movement and he flips out. Yet again, that's just his personality. That's not the personality of every iguana that's out there. There's some, I'm sure, that are as puppy dog tame as can be, but he is just statistically more. That's just from what I've heard. He's just a typical iguana. The way he acts. So, really cool animal. I wouldn't give him away for anything. I enjoy having him. He's really cool to take care of, and they're just really cool. About all I can say. I enjoy taking care of them. I enjoy coming out here. This is like my favorite room in the whole house, to come out here and look at all this. It's like my own little rainforest in my house. It's pretty cool. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this video up. So please let me know what you want to see. I want to start, like again, like I said in the water dragon video, I want to start doing educational videos. Please tell me what you want to see. I'm gonna start breeding ball pythons too here soon. I know if whoever subscribed and watching me, I don't know how many people watch me. Probably not that many, but anyway. I'm going to start breeding ball pythons. I've got about 3 of them that are almost up to breeding. Probably going to hold them back till next breeding season before I breed them. I'm going to start doing videos on those, and I may do some contests if I can get up to 200 or 300 subscribers by then. So, subscribe, comment, let me know what you think. Let me know what you want to see in the future. Alright, see y'all later.